Have you ever wondered why the smallest comment can ruin your entire day? Why a single glance, a moment of silence, or an unanswered message can spiral you into doubt, anxiety, even shame? Have you ever looked in the mirror and questioned, why do I care so much? Why does everything hurt? You wear your strength like armor, you laugh, you push forward, you pretend nothing affects you, but behind the smile, you're exhausted. You're not weak, you're not broken. You're just tired of carrying a battle inside that no one else sees. Let me say something you may have never heard before. What if the problem isn't the world? What if the real war is between you and the version of yourself you think you need to be in order to survive? Today's video is not about motivation, it's about liberation. And it starts by looking where most people never dare to go, inward. Let's begin. You weren't born afraid of judgment. You weren't born seeking approval. That came later. Somewhere along the way, you learned that being fully yourself came with a cost. Disapproval, rejection, abandonment. So you adapted. You learned to smile when you wanted to scream, to nod when you wanted to say no, to give more than you had, just to feel worthy. And it worked for a while. But now you're running on empty. You feel everything too much, and you've forgotten how to not let it destroy you. Here's the truth. The pain isn't just what people do to you. The pain is the pressure to keep being who you think you need to be. Your identity has become your prison. But there is another way. Not to escape pain, but to transcend it. You believe that if you just try harder, be more patient, more forgiving, more perfect, then maybe people won't hurt you. But this is a lie. Control is a cage disguised as safety. No matter how careful you are, life will still be unpredictable. People will still misunderstand you. Silences will still sting. And losses will still happen. Freedom begins when you stop asking, how do I stop this pain? And start asking, what is this pain trying to reveal? Because pain isn't the enemy, denial is. Here's something that might sting, but it's important. You don't suffer because of what happens. You suffer because of where it lands inside you. Someone ignoring you might feel like abandonment. A harsh word might trigger shame. A breakup might feel like you're being erased. Why? Because the event echoes an older wound, one you haven't faced, one you keep carrying silently. Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard said, "The greatest hazard of all, losing oneself, can occur very quietly in the world, as if it were nothing at all." And that is the hazard here. You're not just hurt, you're echoing. The external world is pressing on wounds you've refused to name, and until you bring them to light, they will control you from the dark. You want to be untouchable. Not numb, not cold, untouchable. That doesn't mean building higher walls, it means understanding your own architecture. You stop being reactive not by disconnecting, but by becoming conscious. When you know your wounds, no one can use them against you. When you've sat with your shame, no insult can define you. When you've accepted your vulnerability, no betrayal can destroy you. And this is not just philosophy, this is inner alchemy, turning pain into wisdom, turning reaction into reflection, turning survival into sovereignty. Most people avoid their emotions like fire, but you're different. You've come this far, you're still here, and that means you're ready. Ready to stop pretending you're fine. Ready to stop apologizing for your sensitivity. Ready to stop fixing what was never yours to fix. Emotional mastery does not come from suppression, it comes from presence. Feel everything, but don't act from it. Let the sadness move through you, let the anger inform you, let the fear teach you. But don't let any of it define you. Because feelings are not facts, they are signals, and your job is not to drown in them, but to learn from them. Carl Jung said, "I'd rather be whole than good." And maybe that's the invitation today. Not to be good, not to be perfect, but to be whole. To reclaim the parts of yourself you've disowned. The parts that felt too messy, too emotional, too loud, too much. To stop hiding behind an image. To stop performing strength. Wholeness is quiet. It doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't collapse at criticism. It doesn't beg for belonging. It knows, I am enough, not because the world said so, but because I've met myself in the dark and didn't run. There comes a moment in healing when you stop trying to convince anyone. You don't chase closure, you don't seek apologies, you don't argue to be right. Because peace has become more valuable than validation. This is the strength people don't understand. It's not loud, it's not showy. It's stillness, it's presence. It's knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't. When people hurt you now, you no longer say, "What's wrong with me?" You say, "What wound in me did this awaken?" And in that moment, you shift from being a victim of life to being the conscious author of your own. Let's be clear, emotional immunity is not indifference. It's not about never being sad again, never being hurt again, never crying again. No, it's the ability to feel without falling apart. It's the power to see pain and not identify with it. It's knowing, this feeling is passing through me. It is not me. And that shift changes everything. You still love deeply. You still care fiercely. But you are no longer ruled by it because your center is no longer outside of you. So what protects you really? Not armor, not avoidance, not perfection, but consciousness. The moment you stop being afraid of yourself, the world loses its power over you. So if this video stirred something in you, if you feel a shift, however small, write this in the comments. I reclaim my awareness, because that's where it begins. A single decision to no longer live asleep. A single moment of honesty with yourself. And from there, everything changes. Not all at once, but piece by piece, layer by layer, truth by truth, until one day you no longer break at the same places. You bend, you breathe, you stay whole. This is not the end of the journey, it's just the beginning. The next video will take you deeper. Don't stop here. You didn't come this far to stay the same. See you in the next chapter.